Right, so the acquisition of Twitter by Elon Musk, we knew he'd screw it up. He didn't really know what he was doing. He drove staff away. Many of them now working on the new Twitter rival Threads. But along with all the, let's call them snags for the sake of politeness and moving the conversation on, there were some positives for those of us who had been long-time users of that platform. It's where I built up originally. I came from putting 2-minute, 20-second videos out on Twitter to YouTube later. It's why a lot of my oldest content on my YouTube channel is a lot shorter than that which I produce today, because my main audience was on Twitter at that point, and they had quite a strict video length policy, and it was a pain in the neck, frankly. As YouTube has built up more for me, I changed my game up a bit. But then, of course, Musk introduced Twitter Blue. Now, for those who don't know Twitter Blue, this is basically a premium membership that Musk has introduced. You pay a monthly fee, you get a blue tick. But as was the driver to sign up for it in my case, you get a much longer video length allowance, meaning I could again post video content directly to the platform and not just share the YouTube link, which Musk had really nerfed up display-wise because he doesn't like other platforms being shared on his. Something Threads is actually much better at supporting. So little wonder more people are going there at a rate of knots. Now, I care nothing for the blue tick. I resisted joining Twitter Blue for quite some time because of it. My socialist predisposition is offended by it somewhat. I want a level playing field. But unfortunately, social media platforms are not level playing fields. It's a simple fact that these platforms are not democracies. And if the messaging we seek to convey as alternative media, as activists on the left, to reach out to people who's going to get out, to get anywhere, we don't have the luxury of billionaire-owned media of our own. We have to use what is there and abide by the rules they unfortunately set. And Twitter just functionally shifted in a way I found it to be unavoidable for what I do and the content I produce. And lots like me felt the same. The trouble is, Musk, a.k.a. Space Karen, has carried on screwing that up too. The blue tick was always much sought after before he came in and fiddled with stuff by those wishing to have a reputation for being reputable and being trustworthy, and by basically putting the blue tick up for sale, anyone can get it. All I wanted was longer video allowance, as I said, but the tick that comes with it still carries for many Twitter users the opinion that the account must be reputable still, that somebody prepared to pay for the privilege is a serious user and takes what they publish on there equally seriously. Actually, what it did was produce a two-tier Twitter between those who can afford it and those who can't, those who want it and those who don't. My interest is a business one. I promote my activity on there to build up my presence, just as I do on YouTube. People supporting my work there just as they do here. I'm not the sort to put all my eggs in one basket. And although I think it less likely a YouTube takeover would happen as we saw with Twitter, who can be certain such a thing wouldn't or couldn't happen in the future? That's my justification. But by putting no constraints at all on who could come into possession of that once coveted blue tick, functionally it isn't just the likes of me who want to promote what is really going on behind the news, or covering stories not getting the right coverage, and highlighting the content and exclusives brought to us by alternative left media, more trustworthy than the mainstream. There will be those who can abuse such a system with impunity too. And now the blue tick is less something to be sought after, rather it's becoming a badge of shame. Such was Space Karen's determination to monetize Twitter for all he could, monetize his weaselly black guts out. He's opened it up to disinformation sources looking reputable now as well, not least apparent disinformation from Russia and fueling Ukraine war disinformation. Now that's the news headline that brought this story to light. It's from the BBC, which hilariously has become so distrusted itself, but is so tenured to the notion they had the brass neck to set up their own BBC Verify system to fact-check others, which is where this story has sprung up from. Hypocrisy to match Musk's greed, as far as I can see. Let's not forget, whilst all of this is going on, Musk has reduced the usage on Twitter for those without the premium service, so they can only view a few thousand tweets a day now. That is literally killing the platform. But let's also not pretend the BBC have done any of this for altruistic reasons, though, because it is also true that more and more people are going to social media, whatever platform, for their news. And this is in and of itself a threat to the BBC and, therefore, to those who actually pull their strings. The danger is when people can no longer tell the difference between what is being told factually, honestly, truthfully, and what isn't. It's why I always list source materials in the descriptions of my videos, from independent media to the mainstream itself at times, to government documentation, reports, papers. I've always felt the need to back up what I say to prove my integrity, because there are so many out there that don't have any. To set myself apart from those who do what they do to be dishonest, to spread hate speech or abuse or lies and disinformation. Because to a small channel and an independent outlet, reputation is basically everything. And showing that what I say comes from an actual source somewhere else, that I'm not just making stuff up, that it's come from somewhere, that somebody else is saying something similarly, although they might be spinning it in a way that might be a little bit dishonest, be it refuted by me or supported. It's important to show the context so people have faith in what they're watching when they're watching me, when they're watching my content, my channel, my account, and in me. Musk is destroying that on the Bird site right now by changing a verification system into an ATM. And more shame for it. And little wonder people are spreading to the new Threads platform like they are at a rate of thousands. Thanks for watching. If you've enjoyed this video, please do like, share, and subscribe to the channel. New content coming out daily. And if you'd care to stick with the channel a little bit longer, you can watch this video I covered a few months ago where Musk intentionally made sharing between different social platforms, as I mentioned before, all the harder, totally self-defeating, and completely unnecessary. It doesn't look like he's learning very much from his experience at Twitter. And, well, I'll hopefully catch you on the next vid. Cheers, folks.